Look at this guy. Look at Derrick Lewis side by side. This was him before, and on the right side, this is him now. This is him recently. And the difference is, I mean, I don't need to explain it to you. If you look on the left side, right, you have the Derrick Lewis we're all used to. You know, big around the belly, slow but powerful as fuck. And then you got the guy on the right. This is the same guy, Derrick Lewis, but he's noticeably slimmed down. And if you look close enough, you can kind of see some abs. This is not the Derrick Lewis we're used to. This is a very new, different kind of Derrick Lewis. Now, ignore the legs, right? If you look at those legs down there, it looks kind of off. We're not gonna look at those, but because that's clearly edited. I don't think the rest of him is edited. And I got more photos to prove my point that like this is probably not edited. But if you look at this guy, you know you got a Derrick Lewis now, much more slimmed down, much more active. And the reason for this is likely many things. One might be the losing streak. He is on a 2-fight losing streak, 2-fight knockout losing streak. One in the second round where he was out cold. One in the first round where it was kind of like an early stoppage, but it's still, the loss is still on the record, right? He's won one fight in his last four. And the win was against Chris Dawkins, which is not a win that aged particularly well. So in Derrick Lewis's mind, he's like, well, okay, in 2021, I was fighting for an interim title. And in 2022, he was getting knocked out in the first round by the number 11th ranked contender. And then before that, in the second round, by another 11th ranked contender, if we're talking about at the time. They were both ranked 11. You know, Derrick Lewis is just winless against number 11 ranked contenders. I'd say it's probably one of the MMA curses, you know, got to look into that. But Derrick Lewis, right, going into 2023 now, as a fighter, as a top 10 heavyweight fighter, formerly top 3 heavyweight fighter, you know, in the world, you'd expect the guy to have that mindset of like, I have to be the best. I'm going to train. I'm going to put in that work every day to be the best. Or you'd expect them to get to that point at some time in their career. And to most people, it would seem like Derrick Lewis had a little bit of a fall off. You know, he got knocked out in the third round by Sid Ogan. Then he finished Chris Dawkins after that, which wasn't the most impressive win if we're talking about, you know, looking into it from present day. Then getting knocked out in the second round by Tai Tuivasa. Then getting knocked out in the first round by Sergey Pavlovich. That's got to be enough to tell you for most people that it's time to step it up. It's time to focus on whatever I need to focus on and to train in the areas wherever I'm lacking. That seems like where Derrick Lewis is going now. If we looked at him so Derrick Lewis is fighting Sergey Spivak in 3 days, right? So Derrick Lewis, when he was first, like, this is not his first time fighting Sergey Spivak, or his first time being scheduled to fight is what I mean. He was scheduled to fight Sergey Spivak back in November. But the fight got canceled because of a stomach issue from Derrick Lewis, which we now know was related to COVID. Derrick Lewis confirmed with us a few days ago, or no, this was yesterday, I mean. He said COVID-19 led to the cancellation of the first Sergey Spivak booking. So was it a stomach issue? Was it COVID? Was it a little bit of both? It was likely a mix of both. You know, COVID-19, any virus, it just weakens your immune system. So that could have been what happened with Derrick Lewis, with a weakened stomach and immune system. Something could have gone wrong there. I mean, looking at him back then, he probably didn't have the best diet. So, you know, especially after a weigh-in is what I mean. Like, after a weigh-in, you just eat whatever you want to eat for most fighters. And for a guy like Derrick Lewis, you know, who is on the heavier side and who did have a weakened immune system, that's just a lot of things that are going to lead to a fight cancellation. You know, you can't really fight with those circumstances. It's kind of difficult to do that, especially if you're on a 2-fight losing streak. You don't want to go to 3. You definitely don't. And canceling the fight, even just a few hours before it was meant to happen, it might have been the right choice. And I guess it worked out in the end because it got rescheduled anyways. So if we're on the topic about Derrick Lewis, how he's more trained for this fight, this is Derrick Lewis when he fought Sergey Pavlovich. That is a big boy. That is like one of the biggest we've seen Derrick Lewis recently. Maybe it's just the angle or the photo, but this guy looks bigger here than he did on the left side here when he fought. This was maybe 2021, right? And 2022 Derrick Lewis is much thicker. But if we look at 2023 Derrick Lewis, on in January, early January, this was Derrick Lewis around a month ago. People have seen this photo already. It's already gone out a lot. And I was meant to talk about it then, but now that it's come up again, I think it's better to talk about it now. Better late than never, especially on a Derrick Lewis fight week. It's even better. Look at how much this guy has slimmed down. A lot of people would say he's looking ready for light heavyweight. I think Terrence McKinney's saying here like welterweight. It's a bit of an overstretch, but light heavyweight, it doesn't seem that unlikely. But Derrick Lewis, you can't deny it. He has slimmed down quite a lot. And this was just a month ago. Even more training and dedication since then. This looks like him now. So with this new Derrick Lewis, what can we expect? We can expect a bit more cardio, for sure, as we can tell by this photo. We can expect maybe a quicker Derrick Lewis if he's working on his speed as well. Can we expect a less powerful Derrick Lewis? Maybe. It's possible. But I don't think the power is going to be that big of a factor or that big of an issue that's going to influence the fight that much. I think Derrick Lewis is still going to maintain a lot of his power. If anything, since he's faster, he might even have more power. That's possible too. We can't really tell. We won't really tell until fight day because, Derrick Lewis hasn't posted a lot of videos. We got some images. We got 2 images. At best, we got 2 images in the span of a month, So, working off of what we've got here for recent Derrick Lewis spottings, we don't got much videos. We just got photos. We can only assume, really. But on fight day, we'll see. Because if you know Sergey Spivak is pretty light for heavyweight. He's not that light, but he looks light for heavyweight. He's not a very thick boy like Derrick Lewis, for Pavlovich himself. He's not very thick. He's got kind of skinnier legs. He's got a more thin frame, but it still worked for him throughout his career. And, that leads him to be faster, and he's still very strong, Sergey Spivak. He's got very good takedowns. He's finished Taito Ivasa before. He finished Greg Hardy in the first round, which isn't super impressive, but that was his most recent win. It was around 11 months ago. And now, we're ready to see. Derrick Lewis is looking a lot more like the physique of Sergey Spivak, especially with them legs. No, I'm playing. I'm kidding. But yeah, I think you can expect a more fun fight, a more maybe even high-paced heavyweight fight. It might go longer. I don't think it's possible we go to like a early stoppage, but I don't really see a second round, maybe third round, maybe fourth round. But I wouldn't expect a decision either. I don't think that's, these guys are both finishers. So I think it's just going to be good pace, but they're going to be a bit reluctant. And then it's just going to be back and forth like that, a bit reluctantness, but still quicker action until Spivak gets that first takedown. And then, se pone serio. It gets more serious. But anyway, I'll talk about this in the predictions video. That's going to come out in 2 days. So I did a lot of research on a lot of the fighters on that card, actually. I did a lot more research than I usually do. I'm trying to get my picks up for 2023. But yeah, this is Derrick Lewis now. Very slim guy. And I can't wait to see how he does on not even the night, the morning of, February the 5th.